He's a YouTuber, streamer, creator with with over 18,000 subscribers on YouTube and over 11,000 followers on Twitch. Hello and welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. Yeah, awesome. So there's the golf clap that I was waiting for. Um, I think what I just want to do is I just want to jump into this because I have so many questions I want to ask you because like I said, I'm a really huge fan and I know a lot of your fans are here as well. So, let's just jump into this. And I just gotta ask, how did you get into 14?
Okay, so in I think it was like right before Shadowbringers came out, I had a viewer suggest that I should try out 14, and I played it for like 4 hours. Like I did one stream, and I had chat pick a character for me. I started on Crystal. The name of it was Pega Cheesesteak. They were a thaumaturge. I got to level 16, and then I stopped playing the game completely until probably like right around Shadowbringers came out again. I think it was like maybe 6 months later or something like that. And like, because a bunch of my friends started playing, I was like, all right, well, maybe I should actually give it another shot. And then kind of got addicted to it, and I haven't stopped playing it in like 3 years now.
Okay. That's pretty interesting. So what I do want to ask you, because I've always felt that A Realm Reborn was always this it's like a wall,
Yeah.
and if you're able to get over this wall, you're gonna love 14, you're gonna love the game, and you're gonna be addicted to it.
Right.
But so I am curious to hear from your perspective as to how you felt about ARR going through it, and how was it for you?
It's actually kind of funny you say that, because I before playing 14 is like, I've played a couple MMOs before, but the main one that I was like absolutely obsessed with before getting to 14 was RuneScape. I played RuneScape since like 2007. That's my bread and butter. And like, if you haven't played RuneScape before, the stories and stuff in it are they're cool, but like the 15-year-old me did not really give a crap about that at all. So like, I just zoom through everything, don't care, whatever. And I did the exact same thing with A Realm Reborn too. I skipped all the cutscenes, okay, until and I remember this very vividly. There's one quest in I think you're in Camp Dragonhead, and it gives you the prompt. It says several cutscenes will play in succession, and you should set aside time to watch these. And I remember it was like late at night, and I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. It's telling me that there's like several cutscenes. I should watch it.
Of course.
And I watched it, and it was like a movie. I swear, it felt like I was sitting there for like an hour watching these cutscenes. I don't think it was that long, but it was at that point that I was watching that, and I'm like, all right, maybe this shit's kind of cool. Maybe I should actually kind of pay attention. Like, I had no idea what was going on until that point, but I was like, okay, maybe I should kind of pay attention. So then I kind of started, paying attention. I still skip Stormblood though, and I feel like people get mad at me for that.
I did too, don't worry.
That's a whole other story though. That's a whole other story.
No, and I'm actually that's actually really, really interesting because I've always told people, and I want to get your take on this, because I've always told people that Final Fantasy 14 is a really, really hard game to recommend to other people. And I think it's mainly because of that. You have to there's so much time that you have to invest in it. There's so much reading that you have to invest in it. So I'm curious, because you had people recommend you the game. Have you recommended this game to someone, and how de facto?
Okay. Another funny story, actually. I have a friend. Their name is Mooney. They're another streamer, and I would be streaming 14, and they would come into my chat, and they'd be like, why are you playing this boring fucking game still? This looks like
game.
trash. You should play some. Can you play something else, please? I hate watching this.
Yeah.
And I I told him, I'm like, just give it a shot. Trust me. And I should go find the clip for you if you want. I could find it for you later. But there's a clip. There's a clip that they posted like yesterday onto Twitter. It's because they are addicted now. They are obsessed. They just got into Endwalker. I think they without, obviously I don't want to spoil anything, right? They got to, I think, the first or second dungeon of it, and they are now shill. They are the biggest Final Fantasy 14 shill ever, and it's just the funniest thing to me because I remember I will never let them live it down. They're in my chat fucking trashing it, and now they're obsessed, and it's great. So I've definitely like recommended the game to a few people, and like, but that beginning, like A Realm Reborn, it can be a bit of a slog, but like, I don't know. I think A Realm Reborn is definitely not as bad as I think a lot of people make it out to be. Because I've done it again on like alts and stuff like that. Because I skipped like half of it, right?
Yeah.
So I went back, did it again. I'm like, okay, you know, it's kind of, yes, it's the beginning expansion in a new MMO. It's got 10 years of content. Of course, there's gonna be some slow bits. Not everything is gonna be Endwalker, right? So I don't know. It's like if you're interested in Final Fantasy, if you're interested in those story games, you know, it's got a lot of world building. You know, I think it's good for a specific kind of person. But like, some people, it might just not be for them, you know, and that it is what it is.
Yeah. I think you make a great point there. What sort of expectations do you have for 7.0? Since that's they're around the corner now.
You know, it's funny that I mentioned that, you know, A Realm Reborn is not Endwalker.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling, dude, I'm so fucking excited for 7.0. Because I know I can't wait for the discourse, because I know some people are going to be like sitting there and they're going to do it, and it's not going to be as good as Endwalker, and they're going to be like, this game's fucking trash. This game sucks now. What happened? What did they do? It's like, man, you know, Endwalker had like 10 years of content building up to it, right? So I mean, I'm going into 7.0 with extremely low expectations, because you know, I mean, like, people thought like, oh, Shadowbringers was so good, how are they going to top Endwalker? And then they topped Endwalker, and now everyone's thinking, how are they going to top Endwalker? They're not. They're just not. You know what I mean? Like,
here's what I keep telling people. I have faith in Yoshi P. You know, I don't agree with everything that the devs do, but I think overall as a game, I think they're doing pretty well.
It's all right.
Yeah.
There's things that could be better.
Yeah, of course. And one of the things that is coming up is this graphics update. I keep asking, you know, people that come onto this podcast as to what they think this graphics update is going to be, what their expectations are for it. So I'm gonna ask you the same question. It's like, you know, is it gonna be mind blowing? Is it gonna be like what? How do you see this graphics update?
I mean, I hope it looks good. You know, obviously there isn't too much to really go off of other than like the little screenshots that we got before from the live letters before and stuff. But I mean, if it's gonna look anything close to better than what we got now, have you ever just like zoomed in on your hair and just just do it? Just look, like, zoom in.
Yeah.
Look at your hair. It's kind of fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of disappointing, but you know, as someone that like I don't know, I play 14 on the lowest graphics settings because OBS literally won't let me like stream any higher than that, and I've just kind of gotten used to it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Graphics don't really matter too much to me. I don't really care too much about it. But I'm excited to see what the game looks like. You know, what we've seen looks pretty good. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
it's like I said, like 7.0 is right around the corner, so I'm excited. I'm excited to have more content. I'm excited to have more, more stuff to do. And one of the things that I keep, hearing on Reddit is this idea that there is like a lack of Final Fantasy 14 content creators and just content in general. So I am interested to hear, you yourself are a content creator. So how do you see the space right now?
Um, I think there are like a handful of creators that are creating pretty decent content in the 14 space. However, I think 14 is it's a really interesting game to create content for, because if you look at it in the very broad general sense, there's a lot of people that will make, like, a lot of the content that's made for this game is based on a couple things. There's like, you got guides, like either it's raid guides or how to make money or leveling guides, or and that content it is valuable to the community, because people obviously want to learn how to do certain things. You have podcasts kind of like this, or there's also like Work to Game. I think they do like a podcast, or Mog Talk, right? But I feel like there is a lack of people that are just making like genuinely engaging and like fun content, um there's like a handful of people that are doing that. There's Zeems, he makes some funny stuff. Arthur's makes some funny stuff, but that content is mainly like based off of the content in the game. So like, highlights, stuff from their streams and stuff, and they're hilarious. I love them, right?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the interesting things about this game, is that there's just so many niches that you can carve out of, and there's a lot that you can work with in this game. But I will say, looking at the numbers that 14 gets in terms of the player base, and looking at the numbers that a lot of these content creators get in terms of views, I do think there's like a pretty big gap.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, and I do ask myself, it's like, what is it that the majority of the player base is consuming when it comes to like content? Because I think it's very hard for a creator to even hit that 1 million view video for 14.
I can't even think of an example of people that really have reached that. I mean, even my most viewed video has like, I think it's like 160,000 views or something, which is incredible. Like, honestly, I'm like, that's sick. That's awesome. But yeah, 14 is like, it's like one of those games where there's a ton of people that play it, but I feel like there's not a lot of people, or not nearly as many people, that consume content of like on the game that is like, unique in a way. Like, it's really difficult. 14, that aside, I feel like 14 is kind of a really difficult game to make genuinely like unique content on, because I feel like you're kind of limited. If you're gonna make 14 content, you kind of like really need to think outside of the box on stuff that you can do with the game, which is why like I make like adventure play videos, or I really like the like confessions videos that I did. Like, I want to do more stuff like that, or kind of limit.
Who are some of your favorite creators? Like, who do you subscribe to that you checked off the notification bell?
I don't really watch a ton of 14 creators. I watch a bunch of like streamers, but if I had to name one that I really like, I like Ko a lot. Kobon, he's a homie. He makes some really good stuff, and he genuinely like really cares about the community and wants to be that guy that makes the really like solid good content on 14. He's really dedicated to it.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
I think for me, some of my favorites, I think Pint is doing some stuff. Although
Pint's in a league of its own. You can't even call him a he's not a 14 content creator. That guy is just Pint, man. He's insane. I love Pint. I watched his WoW videos. I didn't even play WoW, man. I didn't know what the fuck's going on. But he's
that's how you know you're a great
creator, man.
Yes. I think Avicat is making some good stuff as well.
I think I've seen them in my recommended a bit.
Yeah, she's cool. But yeah, it's just it's interesting. I do honestly believe though that we are in this golden age of 14 content, and I think with how Shadowbringers has left us and with Endwalker, I think we are we do have 10 more years to go. So we'll see what everybody comes up with, and I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
So I think this is a good time to just talk a little bit about you. And I think the first question that I have for you is, where did your name come from? How did you come? Yeah, how did you?
So back in the day, like what, 12 years ago now, maybe. I used to play a lot of Call of Duty. All right, like I was on Xbox. I loved. This is gonna be kind of cringe, but it is what it is. I was really big on like sniping on Call of Duty and joined all those like trick shot clans and stuff like that.
I'm waiting for your montage video, man.
Yeah, there's a couple out there, bro. There's a couple out there, man. But like that's how I got into video editing and stuff, which I think we'll talk about later. But like I used to go by the alias Life. It's so cringe to think about, but I used to go by Life, and a buddy of mine kind of gave me the nickname Liffy, right? And so I kind of just was like, you know what, that's kind of a cool name. I like it. I'm gonna roll with it. Let's just do that. And I know people give me shit about how it's spelt versus how it's said. Look, it's not my fault, all right? Like, he said it that way. My buddy Future, he said it that way, all right? And this is how he spelt it. So we rolled with it, and it is what it is. So if you want to blame anybody, it actually says Liffa, or Lifey, or Lufa, or whatever the fuck. I don't care, all right? If people get a name wrong, it's fine. I've learned to accept it, man. I've been called so many iterations of my name. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore, man. As long as you don't call me Leafy, then I'm pissed, man. I don't want to be called Leafy, man. All right.
Yeah, that's a whole another conversation, man. How did you decide to start making content? Why put yourself out there? Why even put your voice out there in your videos?
Well, I've always enjoyed making YouTube videos. Like even back like 10 years ago, like when I played RuneScape, right? And I was mainly into RuneScape. There was a bunch of RuneScape content creators that I would watch, like people that would post stuff on Machinima, like Noob Show or XL or Nightmare RH, just to name a few, if anybody knows who I'm talking about. Like those guys were the goats back then, man, and watching those, I was like this, 14, 13-year-old kid, and I'm like, I want to do that. I want to do that, right? So I started making these cringy YouTube machinimas, and then I kind of stopped because, they were god awful. Didn't know what editing software. Like I'm talking like this was like movie maker stuff with like a computer that could not run anything, and like was really bad. I think I have like a 2-minute video on one of my old YouTube channels that it's never going to see the light of day again. Of like me with the, I don't know how long you've been making content for, but back in the day, you used to like to put music in a video unless you actually edited it in yourself. You could like automatically put music into your YouTube video.
Wow.
And it was like, there was like a library of just like copyright free music, a couple of songs, and so it was just this music blaring really loud on a white screen because my computer was lagging, and it took like a minute and a half for it to actually load the first frame. It was just really bad. But yeah, I mean, for the last like 7-8 years now, I've been working as a video editor for content creators, and I've been really invested in the whole Twitch and YouTube scene, and just kind of learning YouTube and Twitch from those people, and getting to work with them is just like, you know, I kind of want to do it, you know, like I want to make my own content. You know, I think I'm a funny guy sometimes, right? So why not make a video every now and then, right? So that's more or less how I got into it.
Who's the biggest creator that you've had a conversation with? DM or anything?
Biggest creator, probably. I don't know. I've worked with a few. I can't. I work with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like just to name a few, I've worked with Myth, Skara. I briefly did some stuff with Pokimane a couple times.
Yeah.
Mizkif. Pokelawls. I can't even think of all of them. There's so many people that I've worked with in like my 7 years of editing professionally and stuff.
So
yeah, I don't know. There's a lot though. Tommy Innit maybe might be the biggest person I've ever DM'd. Yeah, maybe.
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. So you are a VTuber, and I do want to ask, where did this idea come from? How did you jump into it? How did you why did you think this was like a good next chapter in your content creation career, I guess?
Well, back in 2018, I was working as a video editor for Pokelawls, and this is back when he was heavily invested into VR chat and VR content and whatnot. So as a result of that, I kind of got invested in VR chat and VR content, and kind of before the whole big VTuber boom, I was kind of a VTuber, I guess. Like I used to use my VR chat model as like a model for my or like as a VTuber model for my streams, essentially, right? Because like I think that interaction between like having a face cam as a streamer and the viewer is really important, and a big part of like the engagement between you and your chat.
Yeah. So
I wanted to have that, but I don't like being on camera. Actually, I don't want to put that out there. I got my insecurities. I don't want to have to get all dressed up and make myself looking good every day I go to stream. So
yeah,
it's just convenient. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And it's funny that you say that, because I've been doing this podcast now for about 10 weeks, and I still don't have a video where I either show my face or have my voice in it, because you're right. It's just this insecurity. I don't even know what it is exactly, because it's not like I'm afraid that someone I know IRL is gonna watch a video. Maybe it has to do more with the fact that there's a lot of weirdos on the internet, and I don't want to get doxxed,
like, fair enough. That's fair. That's totally legitimate, like a legitimate worry. I totally get it. You never know, right? You never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that whole interaction between viewer and streamer is like extremely important. So I wanted to have that. I wanted to have that at least a little bit. So plus it's just cool. Like, it's just kind of cool. I like it.
Yeah. Can you for the people who don't know, can you explain a little bit of how that the model works? Is it just like a camera that's converting it into like the model, or how does it work?
Hold on 1 second. Sorry.
Sure.
Sorry, I just had someone walk in. Sorry, could you repeat the question again?
Yeah. So can you just briefly explain how does this the VTuber stuff work? Is it just like a camera that's pointed to your face that is just converting it into a 3D model, or what is this?
Yeah.
What's
So
this stuff like?
so the I have the model, which is just it's a live 2D model. So it uses a you have the art separated into like a bunch of layers. So like my eye would be one layer, or I don't know the specifics of how all that works, but you put it into a program called YouTube Studio, and basically it'll use the tracking software on my phone to track my movements and stuff like that. So it kind of translates it for the model and whatnot.
Yeah. Wait, you're using your phone?
Yeah, you can use your phone. You can also use like a webcam as well too. Yeah, I literally I bought this phone like 3 years ago because I was getting the model, and like for the first 6-7 months that I had the phone, I didn't even have a plan on it. Like, it was literally a VTuber. Kind
Oh,
of cool.
yeah. Wow. That's pretty interesting. You currently have 18,000 subs on YouTube. What is that like? I know it's a very like generic question, but yeah, like like how often are you looking at your analytics? How often are you just looking at your channel stuff? Like how much of that takes over your day-to-day life?
I mean, like, it's kind of hard not to like pay attention to, like, you should be paying attention to it, I feel like, as like a content creator, but I try not to worry about it too much, because at the end of the day, like, I just want to make content, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to make good videos. I obviously, like, when I'm making videos and stuff, like, I'm thinking about a lot of things. Like, I'm trying to think about click rate, I want to have a good title, I want to have good thumbnails. I obviously care if people are like
Thumbnails
watching. Yeah, thumbnail design is like rocket science, man. I don't know how to say it, but I know a bunch of thumbnail designers, and like listening to them talk about certain things and like getting advice for thumbnails and stuff from them is just ridiculous. Like this kind of stuff, like the kind of thought that goes into making a good thumbnail is like the average viewer might not think about it much, like think about like, oh, it's just a thumbnail, right? Like, you just have a video or a little image that explains it, but you'd be surprised how much thought actually goes into making a good thumbnail.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I don't know if you're gonna find this crazy, but I found this crazy. But there are big YouTubers that just have a thumbnail editor, and that's literally all they do. That's their entire job, and that's just fascinating to me.
Oh yeah, there are, like, I'm telling you, YouTubers will outsource a lot of things that you might not think. Yeah, I mean, like, even like writers, designers, editors. That's how I make a living. A lot of them will do that.
Yeah, and I do want to talk a little bit about that. So, how long have you been editing for?
10 years.
10 years. Wow. Did you go to school for that? Are you all self-taught?
Nah, so it's like I mentioned before, I was really into like sniping and trick shotting content in the beginning, right? And that's kind of how I got my start as a video editor. Was me and some friends made a clan, and nobody wanted to edit the videos. So I was just like, all right, I'll learn how to do it. Why not? It seems interesting. I've always kind of been interested in like how that kind of works. Ever since I watched the movie Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and there's that scene where Scott is taking a piss and he has the Sims piss meter that depletes, and I remember seeing that, I'm like, I wonder how they did that. I don't know why that scene specifically, but that scene was like, I was interested. So since then, I've like, saw that, and my friends wanted someone to edit the YouTube videos and like learn how to make the montages and stuff, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, why not? So since then, I did that for like 5 years, like 3 or 4 years, and then since like 2012, give or take, I've been learning how to do that, editing professionally for streamers and YouTubers for the last 7 years or so.
Yeah. Is there a creator out there that you really, really want to work with? Someone that you'd love to edit like at least one video for?
Myself, man. I don't, dude. I'm
Agreed.
telling you, man, I've been doing this stuff for so many years, and I've worked with so many creators, and a lot of them are really cool, really nice people, and it's been great. However, I would love to just be at a point where I can just focus on my content. You know what I mean? Like, that's the dream, bro. Like, that's exactly what I want to do, you know?
Yeah. Are you like a full-time content creator, or do you still have like a day job?
But it's like part-time, because I'm still, I mean, I work from home. Like, I'm a video editor. I do all that stuff. My commissions and stuff come first, which is why I haven't uploaded a video in like 2 months almost. But
Uh,
in my spare time, I have a stream schedule. I stream as much as I can, because that's a lot easier than setting aside several hours a day to
yeah.
edit my own video and stuff. But yeah, definitely like part-time YouTuber, part-time streamer, full-time video editor, I guess.
Yeah. Which is actually a pretty good segue to what I want to talk to next. So Twitch has been doing some weird stuff lately, and I really want to get your take for someone who is like in the thick of it. How do you see Twitch right now, and how do you think Twitch is doing as a company?
I think it's bullshit. I hate it, man. It's so depressing being a content creator, and oh my god. I woke up the other day and saw they made that policy change recently, and I know it doesn't really affect me personally, because I have my Rogue sponsor, and I have the little logo on there, and that's really about it. But I've worked with a lot of the creators, like OTK, for example. I used to work for Mizkif, and I know how that whole process goes, and that just seeing their decision making behind it, and their wording on those things, and the changes to the TOS that they're making,
Yeah.
affiliates that cancel their affiliate, they're gonna take $25 off of their payout. It's for what reason are you doing that? It doesn't make any sense, that, among other things. I think the 50-50 split is ridiculous. It's so dumb. That being said, I don't like other platforms are not. I went to YouTube for a month and a half. Did that. Obviously, it's not a very long time to be on YouTube, but the time that I was there, I did actually really enjoy it. It's just the only reason that I came back to Twitch is mostly because YouTube feels really lonely. There's no one that I know personally is on the platform that streams 14. And it's just, I love Twitch. I hate the direction that Twitch is going in, but I love Twitch. I've been on Twitch since 2013, and seeing the stuff that's going on with it is just extremely disappointing. I love the culture. I love the community. I hate the direction that the company is taking. It's always been creator first, and it just does not feel like it's that anymore, which is just really disappointing, really depressing.
How long have you been streaming on Twitch for?
So, I mean, I've had a Twitch account since I think 2013. My Twitch account's from 2013, but I've been streaming since 2018, I guess. I've been a relatively active streamer,
How did you what was the mindset going into that? When did you decide I am going to take streaming seriously? I want to do it consistently. I want to have a stream schedule. How did that start, and how long did it take you for you to start getting like a fan base, like an audience?
The consistent streaming and trying to take it seriously started 2 months ago.
Oh wow.
I've never really taken content creation or streaming extremely seriously. I really just did it because I enjoy streaming, and I love making content, and I love seeing people enjoy it as well, you know. That being said, like last year, like, was about the time that I had hired my buddy Swole to edit videos for me and whatnot, and I was trying to upload like once a week.
Yeah.
So there was probably like a period of like 8 months or so where I was uploading relatively regularly and trying to take YouTube a bit more seriously, and that's when my videos started doing better and like started getting a bit more of a fan base and whatnot. And yeah, I mean, it just kind of happened out of nowhere. Like before that, I was just making like little shit posts on TikTok and stuff like that, and like
That's where I'm at right now.
yeah, like it literally happened like a snap, like out of nowhere. You know, I had some extra money, so I was like, you know, hey buddy, you want to edit some videos for me? And then he did, and it just kind of exploded from there with like adventure play videos, which was
yeah, I remember seeing that like posted on Reddit, and that's how I found it.
yeah, man, it's cool.
So you know, it seems like the thing that everyone's doing now is you know, jumping off of Twitch to other streaming companies. I kind of just want to get your take on the other one. So I think I don't I feel like I have to start with Kick. What is
very
on
interesting.
Kick? Yeah,
Kick is very interesting because I think it's like, it feels like, I think Kick, out of all of them, is like, it's really, I don't know how to word it, man. But like, it feels like if you get banned on Twitch or YouTube, you go to Kick, and then like, you know, some people do really well there. It feels like a lot of the community on there is like a lot, you know, edgier. They're like that old fucking tryhard 7 Twitch fan base, you know, if you you know, like Ice Poseidon days kind of thing. And I think
I've been
on Kick too.
Yeah, I've been saying this for a little while, that I think Kick is the 4chan of streaming.
That's actually a really good way to put it, honestly.
And I think that is why a lot of people are hesitant to even talk about it, because I think at the end of the day, a lot of people see it as a brand risk. And
I mean, I don't know. It's like, I think a lot of people that are going over there are like, you know, if you're going over to Kick because you see that 95-5 split, and you're just trying to make a living off of streaming, you know, all to you, you know, go for it. Nothing but the best of luck. You know, you have my full support. I totally get it. As a content creator and someone that is also aspiring to make content like their full-time job one day, I've considered it too, man. Like I've thought of it. Like Kick,
you have the color for it. You have the color,
dude. I'm green. I love the color green. Kick is green. It just kind of seems like it's good. But I know for a fact that there are people in my community that would probably not go to Kick, and I can respect that. And you know what? That's more or less why I'm like, you know, maybe it's not the place for me, you know, and that's cool. Like if I'm gonna go anywhere, it'll probably be back to YouTube again, because I mean, 70-30 split on YouTube is sweet. I like a lot of the things that YouTube does. I think it's not quite there yet, you know, in terms of like live streaming yet, but there are things that make it better, you know. Majority of my viewer base is on YouTube already, which is kind of why I swapped in the first place, because you know,
what were your numbers like when you were streaming on YouTube?
They were honestly exactly the same as Twitch.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a lot. Like I would say like 90% of my viewers at that time were, or my viewers on Twitch were there because of my YouTube. Like I wasn't growing on Twitch because of like 14. Growth on YouTube or on Twitch is non-existent. It's impossible.
I've heard.
I mean, in the 14 category, it's not as bad because it's not oversaturated compared to like Fortnite or whatever, Call of Duty, right? Because no one's going to the Warzone section and scrolling down 5,000 creators to find Lil Jimmy with 0 viewers, right? I made the same analogy in my video talking about the Switch. Like, 14, it's a bit easier because there's maybe like 5 or 6 creators with over 200 viewers, and then you don't have to scroll down as far to find someone that you see doing content that you think is interesting. You see someone in P6 of top and you're like, oh my god, okay, I'm gonna go watch that, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So 14 is like special, but I don't know. YouTube is where I'll probably go. Kick, I don't know. I think that like for sure a lot of the people that are currently on Kick or that might find me on Kick might be those like edgier viewers that I really don't want. But I also think that to an extent a creator's viewer base is reflective of themselves, so like obviously if I were to stream on Kick, I could filter out those bad eggs that I don't want, right? But then again, I think it wouldn't be much different than like my Twitch chat now or my YouTube comments now. It'd just be those people on Kick, right? So I don't know, but yeah, I can't see myself going to Kick and then like getting more popular than I am now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, what is it about Twitch culture, I guess, that you really enjoy? Like, what's keeping you on Twitch?
Like just someone that has been on Twitch since like 2013. The whole like just the community is cool. Specifically in the 14 scene, like I share a lot of viewers with a lot of my other friends. So like for example, Lux before he graduated, me and him, we had like a bunch of like shared viewers, or I'm sure there are a bunch of my viewers that might watch Arthur's or Zeem's Stall or Ko, Shen, whoever, right? Like a bunch of my friends. So like I said, I'm the only one on YouTube. Yeah, it just kind of makes things more difficult for those viewers to like come and find my stream or watch my stream because I'm not on Twitch anymore, right?
Yeah, that's fair. Would you ever want to join an org, or are you? I don't think you're a part of an org, right?
I'm not a part of an org, no.
Would you want to, or would you want to just stay solo?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it depends on the situation and like the org that reaches out. I'm not particularly like a fan of any organization or anything like that. I would, in terms of like VTuber agencies and stuff like that, I probably will never do that because I want to be me, and I know there's a lot of like, there are like corporate VTuber agencies and stuff that let you keep like your identity and just kind of stream under them and stuff, and like sure, maybe that's a possibility one day, but I'm not really looking for it or applying for anything because I much prefer to be like an indie creator and have a majority of the say in what it is that I do and create, It goes with joining an org. I feel like it's probably similar, but I really don't know much about that.
Yeah. How I know we talked a little bit about VR earlier. Are you a big fan of VR? How do you see it?
I think VR is really cool, and like I mentioned before, I was really big into VR chat and stuff like that. Then I have an Index, I had a Vive, I had an Oculus before too. I'm very into VR content, and I actually plan to do a VR stream next week as well because there's some things I want to check out. But
yeah. Well, so I mean, let's talk a little bit about VR chat because I thought I have an Oculus, and I thought my experience with VR chat was really, really interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to ask you, why should people try VR chat? What is it about VR chat that you personally enjoy?
My view on VR chat has like definitely changed in the years. If it was still 2018, 2019, I probably could tell you, oh, it's really cool. They got a bunch of cool worlds and like avatars and stuff that you can be, and you know, it's a lot of fun and really cool. Now, I mean, I don't really know because I haven't really. I get on VR chat like once in a blue moon now if it's like with some friends and stuff, and we're just like hanging out. I think it's really cool. I think VR is really interesting. There are some things about VR chat that I think are really cool as well, though, because like I like the idea of being able to go, like for example, go to a bar in VR chat and like hang out with my friends and like maybe even have a couple drinks at home, and I don't have to go out or do anything or worry about paying for an Uber to get home or anything like that. You know, I can do all that from my own home, or go to a movie and watch a movie with some friends in VR and have that experience with, you know, sitting in a movie theater and like hanging out with my friends who could be in Australia or England or Japan or wherever the fuck, America, and we're all just in the same room chilling just like we would if it were like in real life. I think that's a really cool concept.
Did you ever own a PS3? PlayStation?
No, I have a PS4 though.
On the PS3, there was this thing called PlayStation Home that I've never heard of that.
It's like very similar, isn't it? Like
that is where I first started getting into this whole like game concept where, you know, you're hanging out with people. And I think that is why I really enjoyed my time on VR chat, because it gave me that same experience. It just, you know, although you don't know these people, you know, you're still around people. You're still, you know, able to like have conversations with them. And I always thought that was very cool.
It's really cool. I love it. I love that aspect of it. I think it's really cool.
Are you planning on dropping 3,500 for Apple?
No. I have a friend who's a content creator. His editor. I'm good friends with him, and he apparently like he lives with them, and they're planning on getting like 3 of them or something like that. I'm like,
okay,
like or some shit. Like, why? Like why? I saw that like the thing, and I'm like, $3,500, bro? Are you crazy? Like, you can buy a whole ass like rig to handle VR and have money left over for an index. You know, like, you're insane if you're gonna spend that amount of money. But I mean, hey, you know, I don't know if that thing dropped down to like $500, I'd maybe consider it. But like, you know, I think in like 10 years from now or whatever, that technology will be at a point where it's a lot more affordable. I know VR over like the last 5 years has gotten like way more affordable, especially with the Quest. Like the Oculus Quest is like is insanely affordable for like actual consumer, you know, expenses and stuff. You know, I think it's like $300 or something like that. You know?
Yeah, and I know a lot of people have their own opinions about, you know, Zuckerberg and the way that Meta is doing all of this stuff, but the one thing that I keep always reminding myself is that at the end of the day, at least what they're doing is pushing the technology forward.
Oh yes,
I do think, like, I do want VR to succeed. When I bought my Oculus, I thought it was like really sick. When I played, you know, Half-Life Alyx, I thought, wow, I'm playing a game from the future. Yeah. But when you start realizing that, you know, other than Beat Saber, other than VR chat, other than Half-Life, you know, there's not a lot to do out there with VR. And I'm just I still think we are at the very, very start. I think VR is the worst that it's ever going to be at this current.
100 million%. I agree. We're just waiting for those, like, for like the Square Enix to like just say fuck it and full send a AAA VR title and just see what happens. You know, who's going to be the first to really fund that? We're waiting for that. You know, I think I am like a huge man, I'm waiting for like 50 years in the future when I can like put a headset on, like Sword Art Online, and like wake up in another world and play Final Fantasy 14 and like in virtual reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
I did see your video with that mod, and
Oh yeah.
I thought that was a really good experience.
Oh yeah. I thought I was gonna get banned from that, man. I was waiting for it, dude. I was like, I was expecting it, man.
Yeah.
I was like half ready to make another like a follow-up video about me getting. I was like
Ooh,
almost looking forward to it. Like, you know what I mean?
there,
Like
man, that sounds-
exactly. Yeah, that
Um,
I haven't tried that mod since that video, so I think it's gone a lot better. But
yeah.
that video, like finishing recording that gave me a huge headache because it was awful.
Yeah.
That mod was like super cool, but also it was not there yet.
Yeah, and I that's how I feel about VR in general. It's like I'm cool with it for like the first hour, and then I just want to throw up, honestly.
It takes a bit to get used to. I remember when I first got my Oculus, I felt the same way too. But then after like a month of like I have like 4,000 hours in VR chat, like and like 10,000 hours in Steam VR in general,
Yeah.
you know, and like there were points where I was I would fall asleep in VR and like sleep a night's sleep in VR, which I'm sure is absolutely awful for your eyes. I know, but like there's a point where you just kind of get used to it and like you're immersed and like it just kind of feels like an extension of your body, and it doesn't like that motion sickness and stuff might not be as bad, but that's for me personally. I know some people still definitely deal with that and they can't use it for too long.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think VR is a fad, or how
Nah, I think I mean maybe no. See, 5 years ago when I was getting into it, I know that was like definitely what people were thinking. Like, you know, it's just a fad. People will get over it soon. It is what it is. I'm pretty sure people also thought the same thing about like the iPhone and stuff too, like touch screens and, you know, oh, it's just a fad, you know, it'll go away, whatever. And now look, you know, we're having touch screen phones that can fold in half, and people are working on shit to make it so that the screens are bendable and stuff, and it's just like ridiculous, you know. I think VR is the same. I think eventually we'll be doing everything in VR. Monitors are going to become obsolete, you know, and like everything will be like that. I feel like, you know,
I honestly think that it's going to take Nintendo coming out with a VR system for it to actually go, you know, even like the bottom.
I don't know if that'll happen. Not for a while.
I don't, because the thing is, like, I feel like Nintendo is always willing to, you know, take a leap of faith when it comes to.
Well, they had the
and
the Labo or whatever it was. Remember that? Yeah. They've done some interesting stuff, but I don't know if like I don't know. I mean, there's already like titles under Sony, and I don't know about well, I mean, I guess Xbox kind of under Oculus now in a way, right? But like Sony has their VR, right? For PlayStation. I've never tried it. I've never tried it. The Sony VR, but like I think if Nintendo does a VR title, it'll probably be a while. But also, I wouldn't mind if Nintendo didn't get into it, because I see Nintendo games kind of more like traditional, you know, like Mario and Zelda, and like, you know, they've definitely come like a long way from like their origins and stuff. But like, I totally wouldn't mind if there's still just like little handheld, you know, games and whatnot, kind of keeping the traditional gaming, and like Sony and Xbox and Valve and whoever the fuck, you know, if they're doing the whole VR thing, you know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think with that would be the end of our show. I do want to thank you again for coming on and you know, sitting here and just listening to me ask my questions and rant about 14. But I do want to give you a chance. Just what do you got going on? What's just what do you have to plug? What's coming up in your
Um,
YouTube? And yeah.
I don't know. I think I might start doing more YouTube streams again with the whole thing coming out with Twitch. I might dedicate more time to that. So if you're
Yeah.
interested in that, youtube.com/Liffy, twitch.tv/Liffy. Other than that, I don't know. I'm still figuring stuff out. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do because like I love 14. I love making 14 content, but I'm definitely trying to think of more variety stuff to do as well in terms of like video content and stuff too. So
Yeah.
trying to take a new approach.
Well, I think we are all here, and we're gonna be right behind you when you do.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So again, thank you for coming on the show, and here's a little clap, and yeah, I'll talk to everybody next week. Bye,
Yeah, thanks for having me.
everybody.
Bye guys. Bye.